In this video, we will be going over your first weld with the LightWELD 1500. All users must review the user guide in its entirety and be fully trained before using LightWELD. Make sure to review all the safety information in the user guide. Do not operate without both the IPG welding helmet, with shield provided with LightWELD, and proper safety glasses, certified for approximately 1070 nanometers. Make sure everyone present, during laser operation, is also equally protected.
Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Roy. I'm a laser applications engineer here at IPG Photonics in the Marlboro Apps Lab in Marlboro, Massachusetts. We are really excited to be showcasing the LightWELD 1500 handheld welder. Now, a lot of you have been using MIG and TIG, and that's great. But now you're taking the leap to laser welding. There's a different set of practices and a different set of muscle memory that you're going to have to develop so that you can do a good laser weld. And we'll be going over that shortly. But let's talk about the control panel first and how we will dial in the specific task we're about to do. So we're going to be doing two 80 thou thick pieces of stainless steel, and we're going to be welding them together in a butt weld. Well, that is already developed for you in an IPG preset. With every LightWELD 1500, you're going to get a chart. And with this chart, on the left, there is all your materials. It goes stainless steel, mild steel, aluminum series, and galvanized. Across the top is your thicknesses and the laser mode you're going to be using for a particular mode strategy. What we're going to do is stainless steel, and we know we're going to be using 80 thou thick, so we're going to scroll over to 80 thou, and we're going to be using CW mode. All that means is that we're going to be having a fast flow of photonic emission that is not interrupted or gated as would happen if you are using a modulation mode. So this is a constant stream of photons for your laser weld. So stainless steel, 80 thou, and it says I need to go to IPG preset A2. So I go to my mode indicator and I scroll up to the A series of IPG presets. And here it is, it brought me already to A2. So I'm now ready to weld my two 80 thou thick pieces of stainless steel. Now before I do that, I have to make sure that I'm taking care of my safety. I got a nice thick pair of leather gloves on. I have long sleeves to protect my skin in the local area. For eyesight, I'm going to be using a pair of 1070 nanometer laser glasses. And this is going to go on under my welding helmet. Just like that. Now the welding helmet is specific to laser welding. Now it's a normal welding helmet that a lot of you folks will recognize with all the tint controls and shade on one side, but this has extra protection. It has an aluminum shield to handle any reflection that might come off your piece, and it also has an IR filter to prevent any 1070 nanometer range IR light coming into the weld helmet. It goes on as so. Now we're ready to weld. We have our IPG preset, we have our safety gear on. Let's go over to jig view. Here we are over at our jig. Now as you can tell, I've got one of my pieces locked down to my weld plate, and this is the other piece of 80 thou thick stainless steel. So we're ready to go. But a couple of things to keep in mind. So we're going to be fusion welding right now with lasers. So we're going to want a really tight fit up, okay? We're not going to want to see any gap in our weld seam right here. Now that may be different from what you're used to with TIG, which you would probably leave about a 1 millimeter gap and you'd put a filler wire. But with laser welding, you're going to want a tight fit up. Also with TIG, you're used to going very slow to get that perfect fill inside of that gap. With laser welding and with fusion welding in particular, you're going to want to go fast, okay? Because what we're trying to do is make sure we're not giving too much time to disperse heat throughout the part. So we're going to do one that's going too fast, we're going to do one that's going too slow, and then we're going to do one that's going just right. Let's start with going too slow. Now let's do too fast. It's a noticeable difference. And this is just right. Okay, here we are back at our workpieces. Now we have too slow, too fast, and just right. Let's check out too slow. All right, so as you can tell right now, we had too much time on target. The laser was going slow and we widened our heat affected zone down our seam right here. So you got a big fat undercut that's going right down the center of this weld. Let's check the back. Okay, you got full penetration, which is a good thing, but it's way too thick. You're letting that heat spread out to both pieces, which is going to lead to the next effect, deformation. And as you can tell, there's a slight bow down on our piece because we went too slow and we put too much heat into the part. Okay, so then we went too fast. Let's check that out. So here we go. We went too fast. Our heat affected zone, as you can tell, is much smaller. In that sense, from a cosmetic standpoint, it looks okay. But let's check the back. There you go. As you can tell, because we went too fast and we didn't have enough time on target, we didn't get a full penetration weld. This is a weld that would fail. Okay, and this is the weld that we went just right. As you can tell, minimal heat affected zone, a very nice even bead right down the center line of that seam. We turn it over and beautiful. Look at that, a full penetration weld, not bulgy in any areas, nice and uniform. But what that would translate to is, did it deform the part? No, because our weld was going at the right speed, the heat affected zone was minimal. The bottom of the weld had a nice bead on it, which didn't deform the part. This is exactly what you're looking for in laser welding. Now, the 3 speeds I just went over were for my style of welding. When you get the LightWELD 1500 right out of the box, you may have a different style. So what you can do is you can either just dial up the power if you want to go a little faster, dial down the power if you want to go a little slower. This is the latitude of the LightWELD 1500 and what it can do for you in your workplace setting. As you move past your first weld, check out the weld video on laser welding basics to get a better understanding on how easy it is to match up the equipment with your particular style. I hope this video has been helpful, and good luck with your welding.